Hi, my name is Becky Allen, and I'm going to read some selections from a variety of people about our relationship with the natural world. I've got some shorter selections from a scientist, a theologian, a philosopher, a poet, a Native American chief, and a contemporary spiritual teacher. But just a few words before I share those with you. I wanted to explain that our current relationship with the natural world in the Western culture is one of separation and alienation. That we tend to see nature as real estate, as something to drive our golf carts over and spread our shopping centers across and our highways, as a resource for our benefit. We tend to see trees as lumber and paper, a mountain as a ski slope, perhaps the ocean as a place to deposit our garbage. So we have very much a commercial relationship with nature in our culture, allowing us to plunder our world and destroy its natural beauty. The selections I've chosen will, I hope, renew in you a sense of the deeply sacred relationship that we have with the natural world, a sense of awe in the presence of its mystery and beauty. And so I'm going to begin actually with Albert Einstein. A little closer? Okay. Here I thought I was being really loud. Okay. Okay. Albert Einstein had a vision of the beauty and mystery of the universe, certainly in his research about its vastness and expansiveness. He says this about our alienation from the natural world. A human being is part of a whole called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. He goes on to say in another passage, people like you and I, though mortal, of course, like everyone else, do not grow old, no matter how long we live, for we never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Here, I think he speaks of the sense of aliveness and connection that comes out of the experience of awe and wonder. From Einstein, I'm going to move to Matthew Fox, a theologian. And Fox says this: we are being given a new creation story, a new creation theory from science itself, a new cosmology about how our species got here, how this planet got here. No one can hear the story without being filled with awe and wonder. To hear that all the elements of our bodies were birthed by a supernova explosion 5.5 billion years ago, which unites us with all the elements in the universe, is awesome. To hear that in the first seconds of the fireball, decisions were made 18 billion years ago on our behalf, that the temperature of the fireball had to be within 1 degree of what it was for this planet to evolve, is awesome. And that is how it happened. When you hear these stories tumbling out of the mouths of scientists, it is no wonder that they are leading the way to mysticism today. I hear the echo of Julian of Norwich in the 15th century, who said, "We have been loved from before the beginning." And he goes on to say, "We have anthropocentrized falling in love. We think it is something you do to find a mate for the rest of your life. But it is much more than that. We could fall in love with the galaxies. We could fall in love with species of wildflowers. We could fall in love with fishes and plants, trees, animals, and birds, and with people. This capacity for being in love has no limit, and all of it is about experiencing blessing. Next, a piece from a philosopher, David Abram, having to look both ways, in his book, Spell of the Sensuous. This is a story about living on Long Island in the 1980s. In the autumn of 1985, a strong hurricane ripped across suburban Long Island, where I was then living as a student. For several days afterward, much of the populace was without electricity. Power lines were down, telephone lines broken, and roads were strewn with toppled trees. People had to walk to their jobs and to whatever shop was closed open. We began encountering each other on the streets, in person, instead of by telephone. In the absence of automobiles and their loud engines, the rhythms of crickets and birdsong became clearly audible. Flocks were migrating south for the winter, and many of us found ourselves simply listening, with new and childlike curiosity to the ripples of song in the still-standing trees and the fields, and at night the sky was studded with stars. Many children, their eyes no longer blocked by the glare of house lights and street lamps, saw the Milky Way for the first time and were astonished. For those few days and nights, our town became a community aware of its place in an encompassing cosmos. Even our noses seemed to come awake, the fresh smells from the ocean somehow more vibrant and salty. The breakdown of our technologies had forced a return to our senses, and hence to the natural landscape in which those senses are so profoundly embedded. We suddenly found ourselves inhabiting a sensuous world that had been waiting for years at the very fringe of our awareness, an intimate terrain infused with birdsong, salt spray, and the light of stars. Okay, the sense of awe and wonder in nature. It brings a sense of aliveness and connection with our natural world. I would next like to read a few passages about Earth as our primary healer. And the first one is from a poet named Nancy Wood. In this poem, she talks about the comfort we can seek in wild things, and a source of nature also being a source of emotional cleansing and healing. My help is in the mountain, where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it, and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So must I stay for a long time, until I have grown from the rock, and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me, nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. Earth, cure me. Earth, receive my woe. Rock, strengthen me. Rock, receive my weakness. Rain, wash my sadness away. Rain, receive my doubt. Sun, make sweet my song. Sun, receive the anger from my heart. Another section on the healing qualities of nature is from Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. And next, a couple of selections from Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle. If you've been watching Oprah, you know who Eckhart Tolle is. Okay, in this Stillness Speaks, he has a chapter of readings specifically on nature, and I've chosen 2 or 3 of them. And on the healing qualities. We depend on nature not only for our physical survival, we also need nature to show us the way home, the way out of the prison of our own minds. We got lost in doing, thinking, remembering, anticipating, lost in a maze of complexity and a world of problems. We've forgotten what rocks, plants, and animals still know. We have forgotten how to be still, to be ourselves, to be where life is, here and now. To bring your attention to a stone, a tree, or an animal does not mean to think about it, but simply to perceive it, to hold it in your awareness. Something of its essence then transmits itself to you. You can sense how still it is, and in doing so, the same stillness arises within you. You sense how deeply it rests in being, completely at one with what it is and where it is. In realizing this, you too come to a place of rest deep within yourself. Bring awareness to the many subtle sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves in the wind, raindrops falling, the humming of an insect, the first bird song at dawn. Give yourself completely to the act of listening. Beyond the sounds, there is something greater, a sacredness that cannot be understood through thought. And actually, I was going to end with 2 invocations. The first one by a Native American chief named Manitonquat. Hear, O humankind, the prayer of my heart. For are we not one? Have we not one desire? To heal our Mother Earth and bind her wounds? To hear again from dark forests and flashing rivers the varied, ever-changing song of creation? O humankind, are we not all brothers and sisters? Are we not the grandchildren of the great mystery? Do we not all want to love and be loved, to work and to play, to sing and dance together? But we live with fear, fear that is hate, fear that is mistrust, envy, greed, vanity, fear that is ambition, competition, aggression, fear that is loneliness, anger, bitterness, cruelty. And yet fear is only twisted love, love turned back on itself, love that was denied, love that was rejected. And love is life, creation, seed and leaf and blossom and fruit. Love is growth and search and reach and touch and dance. Love is nurture and succor and feed and pleasure. Love is pleasuring ourselves, pleasuring each other. Love is life believing in itself. And life is the sacred mystery, singing to itself, dancing to its drum, telling tales, improvising, playing. And we are all that spirit, Our story's all but one cosmic story, that we are love indeed. That perfect love in me seeks the love in you. And if our eyes could ever meet without fear, we would recognize each other and rejoice. For love is life believing in itself. And finally, one short prayer. Mother, Father, God, universal power, remind us daily of the sanctity of all life. Touch our hearts with the glorious oneness of all creation as we strive to respect all the living beings on this planet. Penetrate our souls with the beauty of this earth as we attune ourselves to the rhythm and flow of the seasons. Awaken our minds with the knowledge to achieve a world in perfect harmony, and grant us the wisdom to realize that we can have heaven on earth.